episode.
Mm.
No, they're so cute. How dare you?
Yeah, actually, that's a great way to start off the episode. And we're back with Orchid and Joker, and we'll just start right there. Fallen babies. Never thought I'd live to see the day.
How dare
Fallen
you?
babies.
In the immortal words of the great and wonderful Aaron Yeager, fuck them kids.
Oh God. But they're so cute. Like, how could you?
We're cute, but like we've been murdering the race for like how long now? What,
yeah, we've butchered, we've starved to death like hundreds of fallen babies over the course of like 5 years. Thousands of fallen babies. Thousands. We don't know how they have clutches, maybe. Like they have like little spider clutches of babies, like little sacks. And so every time we kill a prime servitor, they like starve to death.
I know.
Why
it sucks.
That?
Yeah. And I don't know.
Huh? What do you think that has to do with like the season? Do you think that we're going to like, you think that's going to have any kind of significance in the season?
Yes and no. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to humanize a race of beings, and they're not going to, it's going to work because, oh, cute baby Yoda analog. But I think they're trying to humanize a race of spider people who have been genociding humanity for hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, you got no sympathy from me, man. I immediately shut it down. I'm like, it's like going, here's a Nazi baby,
right?
Kiss it, and I'm just like, no, man, no, I don't care, bro.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a girl. I don't know.
Well, you know, and that's the thing. Like, I see what you're saying, because like it's the thing is with, you know, Fallen, you know, because I feel like they feel the need to like humanize them because they're going to be our allies now.
Right.
But my question is, now that they're going to be our allies, how exactly is that going to play into how we're supposed to be allied with the Cabal, but like I still think for the next year we're going to be killing Red Legion in the open world, and it's going to be the constant excuse of, oh, those are just stragglers that didn't listen to Keitel,
the Fallen, it's a little easier because the Fallen have houses. You have House Dust, that's still a thing. You have House
Devil's House King's house.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, King's is Dusk now, right?
Well, they've all kind of been folded into each other.
Yeah.
They've all been kind of consolidated.
But then you have House Dark,
Dusk,
or what I'm going to call Dark because I can't remember what it's actually called.
And
then Salvation.
It's Eramis, House Salvation. And then you have House Light, and we're just not going to fight House Light. They're just not going to put House Light enemies in the game. That's all that is.
Right. Right. And you know, it's interesting. I don't know. I kind of just wish that this stuff would like take effect in the open world. You know, like you would just stop killing Red Legion. Like that would just stop eventually, because it's like,
right.
I know it's not like to the average player, that's not a big deal. But like for somebody like me, like stuff like that really takes me out of the game sometimes, because it's like, you know, how many stragglers can there really be? And how many Red Legion can there possibly be left after all this time? And after we've destroyed literally every leadership.
That's kind of the general conceit of Destiny, though, right?
Yeah.
Is, I mean, realistically, how many Fallen could there still be after, like, we go on a tear killing millions of them individually as players? You know? Or how many Cabal could there be after we've gone on tears of killing millions of them individually as players over the last 5 years, 6 years? You know, so that's kind of you kind of like go, do you want to play Destiny or do you want to play Destiny?
Right. Yeah, and that's a completely fair point.
Right. Yeah.
I think about it too hard. Definitely. I wish the game was in that kind of point. I think I'm hoping for a reckoning where, kind of like if you guys remember World of Warcraft, you know, when I can't remember exactly what it was called. Sorry, I don't know, but you know, when the World of Warcraft, when that dragon awoke,
Cataclysm,
and it destroyed the whole world, and people logged in, and they were like, "Holy shit, what happened?" You know, I'm hoping that eventually happens. Probably the best chance for that to happen is Witch Queen. But like,
we're riding this all the way into Destiny 3.
Yeah.
You still think that's gonna happen?
I don't. I think honestly that they would sooner change the name Destiny 2 into something else than make Destiny 3 actually happen.
Well, no, I think because they said that we're gonna continue the Light Saga, right?
Right.
And that's gonna go past
Into
one
Lightfall,
expansion past Lightfall. They said they had to rebalance their plans and go into come up with something new. So if you look at the way that Bungie has kind of padded out the content, like the Savathun thing, we've been dealing with that since Forsaken, right?
Yeah.
And then that's finally going to come to a head in Witch Queen. But if you look at the roadmap, like where's Ziva Wrath's expansion? That's probably going to come to a head in Witch Queen. Watch Savathun be the ally. That's we're collecting allies like Pokemon. So we got the Cabal ally. Now we got the Fallen ally. We got to have the Hive ally, and we're going to humanize the Hive. Are we ready for that one?
That would be very well.
They've already kind of tried.
You could do it as a writer. You could do it based on their story and based on how they were technically betrayed by the Worm Gods. You could.
They just didn't read the fine print of the contract, man.
Yeah, it'd be hard. I still think it's gonna be hard. I mean, come on. You ever looked at a Hive Knight? Ooh, that's gonna be hard.
Yeah. No, they'll just show you a little thrall baby. It'll be like,
oh yeah,
it'll like scream. It'll like have its little lightning claws and like the worm jutting out of the back of its head, and be like,
God.
Why would you do that?
They're like an angry tadpole monster.
I don't know why this is so fun.
Just mutated thrall. I mean, they're just thrall on steroids, effectively.
Yeah, I mean everything is thrall just with more armor.
Yeah,
and bigger. Like
the
Dark Blade was kind of the funniest version of that because like you shot his head off and he's like this like awesome looking Hive Knight dude, and then you shoot his head off and it's like a thrall.
It's just gross, like mutating. Just
but no. So we'll go into Witch Queen and we'll get allies then, and then Lightfall, and I think by the end of Lightfall, going into whatever the next chapter is. We'll see kind of the enemy races that we're used to either leave because like what after we like push back the darkness or like kill Ziva or Wrath, why are the Cabal still here?
Right.
They said we just want your help killing Ziva Wrath and then we're gonna go home.
Well, remember their world's gone. It was taken over by Ziva Wrath. So
yeah, but the planet still has to be there.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, do you think there's a possibility? Because you guys are like lore junkies. Do you think there's a possibility that we could ally with them, and in a further expansion, do you think we could be helping them take back Tora Bottle?
No, I think Ziva Wrath's gonna come to our system, and we're just gonna kill Ziva Wrath, and they'll be like, "Yay, we could go home now."
What about you, Orchid? What do you think?
I think we could, but I don't know what Bungie has planned because the way I would write it and the way Bungie would write it are two totally different ways, I think, because like my personal idea would be that the the way like I would think like the pyramid ships are like I think pilot fish in that they're not the big bads. They're just like these like little peepee energy, like the darkness isn't like, it's not the darkness, it's something else. Like the nothingness or whatever Callus has been trying to talk to is like something else. Like, cause we got all of that in like in Presage in that mission and in Captain's Log, like he's talking to something. We don't know what that is. There's like something else happening in all of that, like in that lore, like way over there. And then like I think honestly with like I don't know. I think Savathun could be reasoned with. Honestly.
She is smart.
Savathun's evil Levante.
Sava Levante.
Walk up to her and she's just like
she's just
hello,
like
Guardian. Are you trying to fit an immortal being of immense power into the body of a frail old woman and it's just not working?
I mean, that would be interesting. I guess part of me hopes that we could eventually go to another planet and another system. Obviously, no idea. I mean, Bungie keeps all these things so well under wraps. But
I don't know. I think I think there's something that's more dangerous than the darkness out there. I think
For sure.
I think the Vex are honestly much more dangerous than we think they are. And they're like the bad guys simply because like they're the bad guys simply because they're trying to like fit into this. They're like the bad guys and not because they're making themselves the bad guys. It's just because like they exist and then they're bad guys, you know?
Well, so you have the gardener and you have the winnower, and they're fundamental forces of existence. Like they like Cthulian entities.
Right.
Oh, sorry. And
no, it's exactly right.
Want to become like that.
Right.
And write themselves into a fundamental law of existence. And actually
they exist. And so therefore, because they're in this flower game because of the nature of their reality, because they exist kind of outside of time.
Right.
Because of just
You had a really good point though about the nothing, and I was like thinking about it. I'm like, you have the light, you have the darkness, and they're kind of both. They don't want nothing to exist. They want a set of rules to govern it, and they just disagree about the set of rules.
The darkness,
but then the darkness and the light, they both want something to exist. They just disagree on the set of rules.
Right.
Whereas like, so if there is something, by that logic, there has to be nothing.
Right.
And maybe because we're talking about like, forces that exist because existence exists. Right. So if there is a force that exists because, two forces that exist because existence exists, and then the Vex are trying to make themselves into a force that exists because existence exists, there has to be a counterforce to that, and that's probably the nothing. I actually like that. So
and
you made me think about that being the tangential, like the penultimate enemy.
Right. Help me understand, though, the Vex goal. What is the ultimate goal of the Vex? Like, what makes them so dangerous, Because to me, I do feel like the Vex are the most dangerous race currently against us, minus what we don't know yet. But what exactly is the end goal of the Vex?
To write themselves into existence as a fundamental law of existence.
To kind of exist. They exist everywhere at the beginning and the end, and kind of to just make everything Vex. I think they're kind of like the Borg.
Okay.
They're to kind of just make everything Vex.
Not even just that. They want to exist past like the heat death of existence.
They want to be the last
want
thing
everything.
Alive.
Yeah, they want to make everything. Yeah.
Kind of like Callus, like when Callus says, like, I want to be the last one to be killed, but like more than that.
This is where like things with the Vex even get weird, because you have different collectives of Vex that like one worships the darkness and thinks they can achieve it through that. One goes, oh, we're gonna like manipulate time through Atheon. Another, like, this is like, we could have Vex allies. I mean, we've already seen like Harpies like kind of ally with us. But if a Vex goes, hey, allying with the Guardians and the Traveler will like ensure our existence and help us bring our plan to fruition, they do it.
Temporarily?
Well, no, they even permanently. A collective would break off, and like that would be their thing. Could be their thing.
That
just, like,
would be
worshiping
very
the darkness, or worshiping, Atheon or whatever, or like using Atheon.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
it wouldn't be unreasonable.
So that brings me to my question for you guys. Now, we saw that it was basically confirmed that the Volta Glass will be brought into the season without any real story reason, as far as I tell. How do you guys feel about that? Because I know that the community is pretty divided on that, about why bringing in. I'm of the opinion, just to be transparent, I'm of the opinion that I don't like that idea at all. That's what really bugged me about this season. I really don't like the idea of bringing back old strikes without some sort of reason. Like, if you want to bring back old strikes, fine. Like what they did with the Navoda strike was really cool. How like, at least like in the sense of, at least there's a reason. Like, it's not just Omnigul again. It's different. It's Navoda. It's a little bit different. It's still the same thing, but at least
got a name change. That's actually what happened.
Yeah. At least they tried, So like that bothers me in the two strikes they brought back, where, they didn't change anything. So it's just jarring. So,
Yeah.
what do you think? We'll start with Orchid. What do you think about this whole bringing back Vault season?
It's the same thing with the other two strikes they brought back. Like when they brought back like Suffix Prime, and they didn't do jack shit to change it.
Yeah.
Literally didn't do anything.
The House of Devils. And I'm like,
Yeah,
they've been gone.
They did so little that they
Devils.
didn't even change
No,
the House of Devils. And I'm like, but I'm sorry. And the
Remember,
House
they
of
were the
who?
same color. They're the same
Yeah.
color as the House of Dusk.
And I'm like, the House of what now, guys?
Yeah, they couldn't even palette swap the Fallen.
And
Or
they
added
didn't
pick
even
area to use the fucking Rise of Iron version.
they didn't even do that. There were the champions that were in there actually had like House of Devils, like, or House of Devils Baron or something. It had like House of Devils like written above his head. And I'm like no.
That's, like in the fucking what is it? Outbreak perfected, dungeon thing. It's like that Aramis has brought together the House of Devils, House Dusk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so
he's at least palette swapped fucking Mithrax. He's like down in the basement in red.
I know. Yeah. And like at least like guys, at least like try to edit your shit before you put it in the game. Like it would have taken you 10 minutes to get Nolan North to redo some of the lines, maybe half an hour. Like
yeah.
It doesn't take very long to re-record lines for someone who's like a professional like him. Like it's not hard. Like Nolan North, eminent professional, can re-record lines in 1 take, 2 takes, would not take long. Like
exactly.
He records so many things every day for like he's the voice of everything and everything. So
well, that might be why he just didn't have the time.
He just I don't think they even
he doesn't have time to
it,
explain why he doesn't even
probably
have
didn't
time.
even
exactly.
No,
exactly.
they didn't
but
think
like,
about it.
Oh my gosh, it's but it's stuff like that. It's just they're like, oh well, it's a moment in time. I'm like, it's not a moment in time. Like if you're gonna have us do these strikes, cool. Like I love these strikes. These strikes are great. Like I actually like that strike. It's one of my favorite strikes. But if you're gonna have us do that strike, like I just did it in Destiny 1 the other day because I've been playing Destiny 1 and I'm like, there is Siva everywhere here, guys.
It wouldn't even be hard. Like think about like the
show the damage from Siva if you're gonna do the strike again. At least like have that damage and have Siva be gone if you're gonna do that. Like
100%.
Like leave the damage but get rid of Siva.
Right.
Like and then explain that is
it rotted away.
Siva's gone because it's not weatherproof or something, or or we cleaned up Siva because Siva's a problem, and that's why we can be in the Cosmodrome now.
You just put it on a lore tab of something.
Yeah, like we got rid of Siva, we locked Siva away again. Now we can run this strike because Sepix is back, or we just changed the name of the servitor.
Yeah, it's a new Prime servitor.
It's a different Prime servitor. It doesn't have to be because Sepix Perfected, was whatever. So I mean, it's not hard. Just change it. Like there's really no excuse for all of this stuff. And they're like, oh, it's a moment in time. It's not a moment in time. Like, stop it.
You go.
Yeah. I mean, you could literally just say it's a Prime servitor from House Salvation. They're extending from Europa.
Or House Dusk, because that's what's
or House Dusk, because there's House Dusk everywhere, because they're everywhere. So it's shit like this that they could easily fix, but they choose not to, and it's lazy.
And Briggs, don't forget the Briggs that they put in there, which makes no sense.
Because
Briggs of a moment in time, my ass.
There's no, if you're gonna say it's a moment in time, then don't change anything. Don't add new stuff and then call it a moment in time and leave the old dialogue when you can easily put in new dialogue. Yeah. They're gonna change stuff in VOG now and they're gonna say it's a moment in time. Like
it could be the jumping harpies, the or whatever
it's
they're
gonna
called.
Be so fucking annoying to fight champions in VOG, and then they say one thing but then they do another thing, and you're like, I want to like this, but why do you do this little thing to make me get pissed off? You know, it's like
You can-
why?
Well,
You can obviously
here's the
tell I have
solution.
like
Oh yeah, but that's
very
why I
strong
asked.
feelings about
why I
this
asked.
because
Yeah.
it's my biggest irritation in this game. It's when they keep bringing stuff back from D1 and they say they're like, oh, well, it's because you obviously want D1 and D2. You know, I like D1. Obviously, I'm a big
I can go
fan of
play it
D1.
anytime.
I can go play it anytime. It's on my Xbox. Like, I have no problem
They
loading into
didn't sunset
D1.
D1.
No,
Yeah.
they
Thank
didn't.
God
It's all
you
there.
can
I can
actually
go.
play it.
I
Yeah.
can go play. I just did Rise of Iron like a month ago. I can go
Right.
play all of D1 right now. Like I can go play all of, you know,
Which
and
you
it's
can't
all
do in
still
D2,
there.
and that is so fucking
No,
miserable.
I can
man.
go play all of I can go play, you know, all of House of Wolves. I can go play or whatever. So
Yeah.
I can go play all of it. It's all still there.
That's the worst part of the sunset. Like I get it. You know what though? Like loss to gain. So far, I still haven't seen a gain for the sunsetting of content. Like
Mhm.
Destiny 1, I could go back and play. With Destiny 2, it's like the Red War, that's gone. You
That was
know,
actually a
all of
pretty
year
good
one, that's
storyline.
gone. Yeah.
Curse
and-
of Osiris, I actually liked. Like I'm
I
gonna
really
come out
enjoyed
here
that
and go
storyline.
come back swing. I actually liked
Yeah.
it.
I think
Like-
it was better than Warmind
even if it-
story wise.
even if it was bad, like that's not the point. Like if
Yeah.
you even good or bad, that it doesn't matter.
Having it
It's
there.
the fact that you bought it, you paid
Right.
for it,
Mhm.
and now you can't play it because fuck
And
you.
it's
That's
not that, you know, and they pulled the excuse of like, oh, but it's not gone forever. It'll eventually come back. And it's like, yeah, but you have no obligation to bring it back anytime soon. And
well,
that's
no, that's
bullshit.
we've
paid
seen
for.
we know it's bullshit because they were like, we're gonna bring back the entire Cosmodrome.
Mhm.
Well, that was actually more work than we thought it would be, so we're just gonna bring back what we have.
Right.
Mhm.
And it's like, oh, we hope you understand, and we'll make sure that we're better next time. And it's like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have to get to that point.
Well,
By
you-
now, you should know what you're capable of as a company. You
Yeah.
should know by now what you can do. You
Mhm.
can't keep false promises because, like, you know, we love the game.
Promise, under deliver, right?
Exactly.
It's why, like, when the transmog thing, and I don't want to get too far from the Vault of Glass, but this is the transmog thing is kind of part of it. It's like when Bungie announced transmog, and it was like a year ago, during Last Guardian games, in fact, and they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna have it, and it'll be like for in-game efforts, but also silver." And I was like, "Yup,
That's
that's
what I
gonna
thought.
be in the cash shop."
Yep.
Yup.
Yep. Yep.
Do
And
it.
then here we are, and it's like
10
people have
items.
wanted this system for 6 years now,
Yeah.
and you figured out. Well, I think they've always had the ability to put transmog in. They just wanted to like get people used to buying shit and spending. And that sounds really conspiratorial and shit like that, but the Destiny community is trained.
Right.
Yeah.
They've Pavloved our asses.
It's
Yeah.
true.
That's a fair point. That's a totally
Uh,
fair point.
So, they promise a system. Again, they promise we're going to bring back the Cosmodrome, we're going to bring back Vault of Glass, and then they like half-ass it.
Mhm.
And they do it in the most, I don't want to say anti-consumer because you're choosing to engage with these systems, but they do it in the most anti-player, pro-Bungie, easiest sort of way that benefits them the most. And hey, you know what? They're a company. They're entitled to do that. That's what they're always going to choose. But at the same time, like, you can't keep kicking your player base.
Right. In such a convoluted way, convoluted system.
Yeah.
You're limited on how many items you can do. So now players now are making lists of like, okay, what armor sets do I want to transmog? I don't even know what sets are going to come out next season, so I got to leave some space for those if those are cool.
Mhm.
What cloaks do I want?
Yeah,
You
but my
shouldn't
thing
even
on
have
that,
to
it's
think
like,
of that.
if it's in the game, you should probably just like not put it on the list. Just go farm it.
Yeah, but the thing is like some of the stuff you obviously can't farm anymore. And so you're like, fuck, which part of those sets do I want to transmog and which parts do I not want to transmog? And it's like it's just making it more complicated for people. And it's like, look, Destiny's a much better game than Division. but Division's had transmog longer than Destiny, and Division literally said everything you can transmog, all the armor sets. Once you have it, it's yours. Go for it. Division did that, and Division is fucked. Like, I'm a Division player, and I can tell you that game.
Well, it's because there wasn't any money in it for Division.
Right.
Because nobody, again, I don't want to say nobody's playing it, but relative. But you know, Bungie is going to make millions of dollars day one on the new season, and it's going to have very little to do with season sales.
Right.
I mean, that's going to be nice, but it's going to be people going in and spending hundreds of dollars on transmog tokens, so they don't have to like do the loom and grind all that shit. And they're going to transmog, you know, 10, 20, 30 pieces of armor. And Bungie's going to pat themselves on the back, and they're not going to have to face the consequences of people going or, you know, voting with their wallet.
Right.
And people are just going to bitch, and it's going to be the same thing over and over and over and over again. Bungie didn't get rid of loot boxes in the cash shop because people bitched about it. They got rid of loot boxes in the cash shop because they were like, well, shit, fuck. They're kind of legislating, so like, let's get ahead of the curve on this one.
Right.
Yeah, I think they were forced to because legislatures and like certain states made them get rid of it. Mm-hmm. And I think the EU made them get rid of it. It wasn't because the US made them get rid of it. It was because like the EU said like it's Belgium. Gambling. Yeah, it's like the EU said this is gambling and you're allowing kids to gamble. You have to get rid of it. Or Scandinavia said it was gambling.
Yeah. I think I think part of it was like in court, and Bungie just said we're going to get ahead of the curve on this one, and we're going to make it look like we're doing this before we have to do it. Right. And it's going to like look like we're listening to the players, because that's the thing. I also think that like transmog's like way over here right now. I think that maybe we might see it come in a little bit. And then Bungie's going to be like, we're listening. Here you go. This is our compromise. And it's still going to be like terrible, but everybody's going to be like, yay, Bungie compromise. They're listening. Oh, have my children.
I think the main thing people are mad about is that shaders are going to cost so much money. Like 3,000 bright dust or 300 bright dust is a lot for shaders.
Yeah, that'll come down. That'll come down to 100, and
I don't think it will, because they've been giving us so much. I mean, this has been a long time coming, and this is just because they've been giving us so much more bright dust, and so things are going to get more expensive. And so when you flood the economy with bright dust, stuff is going to get more expensive.
Wait. So like when you start giving people tons of money.
Exactly.
It creates this thing called inflation.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
oh no.
Economics 101.
What? What? Economics? What's that? This thing I had to take in school? Oh my god.
You probably slept through.
Oh my god. I have no idea.
It's and it's completely fair point.
I skipped my senior year in high school, so I actually never took economics.
I took it in college.
Yeah, so economics, probably should have paid attention to that class because it would have helped you in Destiny. So sucks to be you guys who didn't take it or haven't listened to it or anything like that.
Sleep or
or fell asleep or anything like that, or never paid attention. That's pretty important. So stuff is going to be more expensive, and it's going to force people to, because they don't have enough bright dust, if they haven't round out their 75 triumphs this season to get their, they said a large amount of bright dust. I think it was like 4,000 bright dust, which actually isn't that much bright dust. Like that's not even enough to.
I looked at my wife's
enough to buy enough. That's not enough to buy like a set of armor.
My wife hasn't played hardcore since Shadowkeep, and I like looked at her account the other day because she was like on to like do Guardian games, and she's like asking about weapons and stuff. I was like, you have like 60,000 bright dust, Nani? So I mean, I guess this is one of those things you're never gonna catch them all in the cash shop. So like, stop trying to buy everything to just check off a list. Because I think a lot of people do that. I think that's also part of the transmog problem, is like the freak out. Is like, no, I have to check off this list in my head of I have to make everything an ornament. What do you mean I can't? No,
you don't. I have a friend who has 2 outfits planned. He has 1 outfit planned for PvE and 1 outfit planned for PvP. And he's like, specifically, it's so I can choose between like the 2 armor sets for each thing, and that's it.
That's the way I'm starting to think about it now.
And I think that a lot of people have that planned that way. And I'm like, okay, well, that's your 1 season because you can do like 20 or you can do 10 pieces of armor.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's 10 pieces. I think you can do 20 in the first season.
20 in the first season. Yep.
Right. And so that's twice as many as you need. And then you're never going to have to do it again.
Yeah. My only thing is like if they to kind of bring this back to Vogue.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I'm like looking forward to, because I like the way my Titan looks. Like my Titan looks hot. Like,
your Titan is good looking. So
I'm like looking. I'm like, dude, the Kabar shoulder pads though. If they like actually bring it. And here's the thing, going back to the, transmog, like it all circles back. It's poetry, it rhymes. With Bungie talking about, like we'll bring things back and it'll be like a moment in time. And I'm like, okay, so Vault of Glass loot is going to be a moment in time, right? Well, no, what's going to happen is because the weapons, for one, like the weapon system's different. So you're going to see weapons be put into frame categories. They really weren't like that in Destiny 1. Like fusion rifles, for example. You could have like a 98 charge fusion rifle or like impact fusion rifle. You could have a fucking 95. You could have a 60, So there's like a little bit of there's more of a gradient in weapons in Destiny 1, in my opinion. Whereas like Destiny 2, it's like this frame is, going to give you bonus speed while you're wielding it, and it's going to do this exact amount of damage and generally have this stat pool, probably less. So Vogue weapons are going to be put into that, so we're gonna see a lot of weapons that we used to like actually be useless because the way the Destiny weapon system works, if they bring back the weapons and don't just like, or if they bring back all the weapons, because remember, like they're like trials, we could only bring back like 3 trials weapons when we brought trials in, and it was a choice between those 3 trials weapons and like a fucking pinnacle weapon. So are we going to get all of Vogue's loot back, or are they just going to be like, well, people liked fucking Fatebringer, they liked Vision of Confluence, they liked Vex, and we're going to bring back, I don't know, the shotgun, and that's it.
Right.
I'm
hopeful they bring back all the Vogue weapons.
I'm hoping they do too. Yeah.
There's a lot of ways.
Vogue is nostalgia. It's pure nostalgia. Like I just there was a fire team because I was on Venus, like just going around on my warlock in Destiny 1.
Chilling like a villain.
Like chilled like a villain, I was doing patrols like on my weird little like Venus loop, which I did because it was like an automatic thing because I
remember Spirit Bloom the other weekend.
So yeah, that's what
God.
I was doing. I was just running around
the
Spirit Bloom farming. That's what I was doing. That loop is what I was doing. And I was just like doing patrols like as I was Spirit Bloom farming. And there were people trying to just open up Vogue. There was a fire team like starting like Vogue as I went over and I like helped them open it. And I loved that.
And they're
and
not
it's something
bringing that back.
No, they're not. And that's what I hate about it is that there is something special about being able to help a fire team like open Vogue that you can't do this time because it's not like there's something special about being able to stand there and stand on the plates and like help them kill enemies and like that fire team of 6 is going to go in and like go do the raid and you're like, yeah, I'm totally helping.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Here's how they fix this. Here's literally take the glassway, go to the glassway, put the little fucking pedestals there, put a Vex portal with like a chevron in front of it or whatever, like little Stargate closed thing, and then have people have to stand on there and it's in a patrol space. People can join and play. Yes, it's on Europa. It's not on Venus. It didn't need to be on Venus. It's Vex shit.
Right.
Come
there
on.
are so many large Vex portals that we have in the game. There's several on the moon. There's
a couple on Mars.
Go to the Black
Garden.
Garden.
Mars.
From
Yeah.
the moon.
Mars is gone. Mars is gone now.
Yeah, but there was
They
cool
didn't have
ones
to
on
delete
Mars.
Mars. You know what? They could also fix it. Give us Venus back. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
deleted a bunch
well,
of planets. We have room for more now.
Venus
Give
was
us
my
Venus
favorite.
back.
expect Venus in a small DLC sort of thing, like a season. But like, okay, fine. Just put the door somewhere that already exists that you're not going to get rid of in a month.
Yeah.
I have a feeling they're gonna give us Venus in another year. Because they have to.
Right. Venus was my favorite planet. It was my favorite location personally.
Well, the problem is like it's the Mars problem, right? It's where we were on Venus. There's like a lot of cool stuff, but that those buildings and shit, it's very static. And
Yeah.
I think anything that they would want to do with Venus they would need to expand the Ishtar
Mhm.
Collective. And
Yeah.
so they would have to do kind of like a Mars Bray sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
As long as
true.
it's on
Yeah.
Venus, I could live with that. If it was on Venus.
I loved Venus.
That's the problem Destiny has. Destiny's environments are Hollywood window dressing.
Yeah.
Fair
They really
point.
are. Mhm.
Completely. I've been saying this for years. You know, I've been saying this. I said this before Beyond Light came out, and I said, you know, that
Yeah, we aren't
city on
going to
Europa
those
looks
cities. This is
awesome.
gonna be Fallout, you know.
Yeah, the city on
Yep.
Europa looks cool, but it's all going to be dead and empty, and there's going to be nothing going on. And I was
Yeah.
right, you know, and I hate being
We can't
right. I
even
don't
go
wanna be
over
right.
there. Actually, like you see
No.
it in the
Yeah,
background, and
you
it's
see it,
like
but you can't go in it.
You can't touch it.
Yeah, like you can't go to the top where Aramis was unless you're in that
No.
activity. You can't even go up there to just hang out, take pictures. You can't go down into that city and like explore. You can't go up into the skyscrapers. You can't do any of that shit. And it's like really disappointing because it's just like, you know, it would make the game feel so much better. It would make the world feel so much more real. You know, it's like what was it, a couple seasons ago when the traveler awoke again and you were in the city, like actually in the city with civilians. And I've been saying this for so freaking long, and like it's hard to care about the city when we're never in the city. We're always
Right.
above the city in our tower. And it's like,
Mhm.
I want to mingle with the civilians. I want to see them
Right.
doing their thing because, like, that's how you get players to care about the city. Like, why should I
Mhm.
give a shit when I'm always in my tower? You know, why couldn't
Yeah.
social space be? Do you guys remember the first solstice, the very first solstice, where you drop down into that like courtyard with Ikora and you're like in the city? And like,
Mhm.
why couldn't that be the social hub? You know, where you have all the vendors around, you have a bunch of civilians, like maybe it's like a marketplace or something.
Oh, so
Like
you mean like
Oh,
one of
yeah.
the only cool things Anthem did?
exactly, except not
Mhm.
moving at 10, like at 0.5 miles an hour, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like that, except like in the initial Anthem trailer, something bustling with people. And it's like, that would make me give a shit. you
Well,
know?
it goes back to the limitations
course.
of the engine. I remember this anecdote from Destiny 1. It was the way we got more vault space was they removed the superfluous map kiosks and the different robots that were like, because there was robots that patrolled on the tower in Destiny 1, and there was map kiosks, and they're like, well, we have to figure out a way to get more vault space. Oh, let's just remove this superfluous shit, and then 10 more vault spaces.
Right.
And it's like, how bad is this engine like slapped together? And
Mhm.
they still talk about optimization and stuff, and it's like, you gutted half the game, and like this game still runs like ass.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, it's completely fair thing to be annoyed by because it's just like, even just having the robots patrolling adds so much to the world.
Mhm.
You know, it just, you know, and also
It's environmental storytelling.
exactly
Right.
hearing people's conversations, like while you're just standing around, you're in your vault and you can hear civilians talking about stuff. And that really annoys me because it's like, you know, they haven't updated any of the conversations in the tower since the beginning of the game. But, you know, when you take away things, just robots patrolling, it really fucks with the actual reality of the world. I mean, honestly, it's no different than when you see somebody in Division wearing a Santa Claus hat and it kind of takes you out for a second. You're like, what the fuck? You know, but it takes you out of the world for a second. That's not right. And so, like, when you take away things, it makes the world feel so much empty, and then it reminds you, oh yeah, it's just a fucking game. But it's like, but you don't want to have that feeling. You know, we've all been playing this game for so long. We feel like we're a part of this world. You need the superfluous stuff sometimes to really sell the
I mean,
experience.
that's why I think I spend the majority of my time in the Crucible, because I can kind of get into that. I'm gonna run around and shoulder charge all the things, and I'm gonna be a Titan, you know.
Right.
And that's kind of where, like, one of the fun things about Guardian Games. I'm like working on this video. Guardian Games was rigged, and I don't mean it seriously. I know a lot of hunters are gonna be like, "Oh, you're just coping" or whatever. I don't mean it seriously, but I think it's gonna be funny because, like, the joke is Savathun is Eva Levante, right? Well, if we follow the chain of culpability back to who should be the Hunter Vanguard, it would be Savathun.
Right.
And that's a joke that's made in the lore. It's like Zavala was like, well, if we follow this back, you know, we'd have to elect a hive god to the Vanguard. And so, like, and then you have Eva Levante, and this comes from the fact that, like, you walk up to her, and one, she's kind of creepy. Two, her lore only, like, no, she is. She's like, I'm Eva Levante, and, like, she's like stuttering, and her model's just bad.
Yeah.
And, like, that's probably just a game programming. That doesn't mean anything. But then, like, you'll, like, listen to her talk, and she's like, I hope Zavala and Eris can work together. And then the only other person that her lore talks about is Crow. Well, who's the three people that Savathun's actually interested in? Zavala, Eris, and Crow.
Yep.
This is kind of weird. So, like I'm gonna make a video, but I'm gonna be like, well, obviously, Guardian Games was rigged to make hunters win, so it would demoralize the Titans and the Warlocks because they're the only ones that can actually do anything in PvE. And it's gonna be fun, but it's like that's brought about by, like, this weird kind of glitchy environmental storytelling, you know, that Bungie didn't necessarily, like, mean to do, but, like, that's the fun stuff, though. That's like, hey, what is this, like, robot do? Like, what Sweeperbot's gone, man. Like, the fucking the faction leaders are gone. You know, I think actually Arak'Jalal is still there, but the fucking FWC and New Monarchy's gone. We need factions back, but that's a whole other
for sure.
Honestly, they could have solved the entire thing with Guardian Games if they just changed the banners to faction rallies.
Oh yeah, dude.
If they just changed that to factions, it would have solved everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Just factions.
Completely agree.
Literally just factions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
they could do that, like, once every 3 months or something. Like, once a season, have a faction rally.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
And I think people would have responded better to it.
Yep.
Instead of this dumb Olympics crap where it's causing people to, like, really take a stand on their classes, even though I love how they're like, we're trying to bring people together, and it actually just makes people further apart.
And there's, like, memes. There's, like, I've seen a lot of people, like me and Kat. We're like memeing. If you guys know, it's like I can't remember her name. I always call her Kat. But she's a Defender Titan. She's awesome. And we're always, like, BSing, and we're, like, talking about it. But then, like, you get other people who are, like, super fucking serious about it. It's like their class is like them or something. And I'm like, dude, calm your tits. We're joking.
Yeah. It's people are they take everything way too seriously. And I can't even. I'm like, this is a game, guys.
Yeah. It's like we're joking around.
Just relax.
To bring it back to the beginning of the podcast, Nath, he's like, it's like the punt, the baby fallen. He's like smallin or punt, and, like, people are, like, upset about it. It's like, dude, it's a fucking game. It's a joke. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Relax.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's something. So I remember seeing that, you know, and how he's, like, taking it as a joke too for the Guardian Games, and, you know, and I joke around, like, whenever I'm in the tower with my clanmates, and I was like, you know, hunters were blowing people away, and now they're starting to lose, and every time I load in, my buddies are Titans, and I'm like, you bastards, you rigged it, you sons of bitches. But, like, it's all jokes, you know, like, I don't care.
But then there's, like, there's well-adjusted people, and then there's people that this is all they have.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at them. I'm not. I get it, but like also take the stick out of your ass.
Yeah.
Like get the joke, man.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
That's what they like, though. They like it there.
Yeah, they like being upset.
We don't judge here. We
I
don't
do.
judge when it comes to
I judge
stuff
everyone.
like
No.
that.
Dude,
No.
fuck that. Fuck them kids.
Yeah. So we do see that the new season will have helm_upgrade.exe. A new chamber overlooking the loading bay has been completed. I knew there was a reason those doors were down there.
Yeah.
It is here that the Vanguard will harness new Splicer tech and plan their response to the Vex incursion. It looks like a giant hooked up servitor, but I always thought there was a reason as to why there was those doors there.
Oh
And if you
yeah,
click
that's gonna get
pictures,
expanded.
you can see the armor sets. I assume those are the season pass sets, but
Yeah,
that
look
armor,
ugly. Okay, the Titan
I
armor
like
looks ugly because
I
it's
like
got like chicken thighs, man. It's like she thick.
I couldn't complain about that.
The armor
Yeah, but
sets
it
are
looks
weird.
it looks so
look weird,
disproportionate to the rest of the Titan because it's like the Titan has these like huge thighs, right? On
Yeah.
it, like armored. And then it's like actually wearing hunter armor for the rest of it. And I'm like, and then it has like this big bulbous head. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Who designed this? I want a name.
Yeah,
I just want to talk.
I definitely think the hunter cloak is very different, is what I'll say.
Oh, I like it. Actually, I like.
I don't have a
cloak.
problem with
how
it.
The strands.
I like it. I mean, I think it's cool to have something different, rather than everything look like a blanket. So, like, I think it's interesting. So we'll have the override activity, and then we'll have the weekly Pinnacle story missions called Expunge each week. Guardians will uncover new vulnerabilities within the Vex network and use Splicer keys to infiltrate and collapse it from within. Now, I like the sound of that. I mean, I'm pretty much a sucker for anything that has to do with the Vex. I love sci-fi, so like anything Vex like is always going to be interesting for me. Fighting within their simulations.
Really mad if this is just a Tron skin.
Yeah, I saw that.
Forest.
Oh my god!
I saw you say that.
And that's what it looks
like
like. Look at some of the screenshots from the trailer, and you're like, wait a minute.
It's like they told all the texture people to like take the day off, and they're just like making everything boxes. They're like, it's just boxes. It's glow boxes is the season theme.
Well, that's
glow boxes.
They don't have to like make textures or anything.
No, it's just glow boxes.
It's just the actual geometry. Because they obviously have, but the geometry is just blocks, right? It's blocks and circles in this place. So it's like the. I don't want to call it lazy because I think it's
not lazy. It's like a theme, though. It's a theme.
It's also the easiest way they could have done it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, I can see, what you're saying with that, so I'm hoping there's more to it, but, Vex is cool. I mean, I think the Vex are super interesting. So like, I'd love to see what kind of story they tell.
Right.
And I mean, they definitely saved their ass here when they said, "Oh, by the way, Vault of Glass is free for all players." I feel like they were like, "Make sure you guys read that part. It's free for all players." And I'm sure there was never a plan to ever monetize that before, people started asking.
No, okay. You want to know? You want to hear my conspiracy theory? Okay. Even though Bungie said they'll never do it again, you see how that happens. Yeah. Well, they said that they would never have legendary gear that is like relevant to the season. But then again, Vault of Glass isn't actually part of the season. So, Age of Triumph gear in the cash shop.
Oh God! Oh no! I would really hate that. Oh my God, that would destroy the community. I think that would be like.
I don't know if Bungie's stupid enough to do that, but like. There's almost a part of you that you hear it and you're like,
that doesn't surprise me in the slightest, though.
I could see that happen.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, because that's something that I feel like almost the entire community's been wondering about because they haven't said anything about it. It's like, are we just getting the basic ass armor in this raid, or are we going to have the option?
No, I think it'll actually, because they say there's that Triumph list, and they'll bring it back at a point after the day one or whatever. I think if they do bring back that armor set, it'll be tied to those things again, like it was in Age of Triumph.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so, because like the basic armor for that raid is, it's fine. It's
I like the
It's
shoulder pads for the
okay.
Titan.
It's okay. Like, I think the Hunter armor is fine, but it definitely didn't age
The
as
Warlock
well
chest
as some of the
piece
other
for that.
sets.
The default one is pretty cool.
I like it. I think
I
it looks
think the
good.
Warlock set
The Warlock
was
set's good.
the
Yeah.
Titan set was really cool.
I want the jacket though.
Oh,
The
so
raid
jacket.
jacket looks good.
I love the conversation going on about how we have too many jackets.
yeah.
The vlog started.
I-
Yeah.
Sure.
fucking
He's not
funny.
wrong.
He's
Yeah.
not wrong.
Although I think this is the first jacket from the raid jackets that I could genuinely see myself wearing, because
I'm
like
gonna get it.
just the anorak, I could wear that anywhere. I could wear that to work. Like so.
Yeah, I bought the fucking, what is it, Garden Salvation one, and I was like, I got it a year later or something, like a year and a half later, and I'm just like, oh,
I don't really wear it. Yeah,
yeah,
I don't really wear this with anything.
It's brown.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's the same problem as the Crown of Sorrow jacket. I feel like a lot of people bought that and then they're like, what the fuck do I wear this with? I got nothing to wear this with, so I think this is the first one where you could genuinely wear this, and it doesn't look so dorky that like you look like people aren't going to be like, what the fuck is that? They're going to be like, oh,
Right.
that's cool. And then you open it.
I think
Oh,
they
that's
should.
cool.
I think they should do jerseys.
That would be cool. Like the Trials of Osiris jerseys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have
You
that.
mentioned that, I just, happen to have my Trials of Osiris jersey.
I think those
Ah,
would,
look at you sweat lord.
like I think those are like some like exclusive T-shirts or something.
Yeah.
Because jackets are just, and they're like $150 too.
They're pretty, and
They're
plus
expensive.
tax.
Yeah,
For
plus
me, it
tax,
would come
plus
out to
shipping.
$200.
Yeah, it was like $200 for me too.
It's a lot for a fucking windbreaker. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
it's a
basically.
windbreaker. 200
So
for a windbreaker.
I think shirts or jerseys, $30-$40 shirt jersey, even though that's still overpriced.
Yeah, I think my Browns jersey was like $60 or so.
Yeah, it would be more accessible though.
Well, yeah, for sure. And I think more people would want to wear them. Like I could easily see myself whenever the next Bungie, what is that event called now? Didn't they change the name? They changed the name, like in Florida.
Oh, GCX.
GCX. Whenever the next GCX is, I could easily see myself wearing the
2022.
jersey. The jersey would be cool to wear there, but the jackets, especially in Florida, nobody's wearing the raid jackets for GCX in Florida. Oh my God. You want to die?
Where I live near Seattle, it makes more sense for me to have a raid jacket because it snows here and it's cold. So
right,
but nobody's wearing them to GCX.
That's the actual reality of this. Is like Bungie employees just want a plethora of jackets they can wear in the winter.
We just want jackets,
and
literally
we got to justify it. We got to justify it on our taxes, man.
Because the most current raid jacket, which we should be getting soon, I think it's almost done. The last email that we got for Deepstone Crypt, so I know I'll be getting that one soon. But I mean, that one has like a zip out, like inner, like vesty vest, but that looks like a Columbia jacket. Like I can wear all of those pieces, just like outside, like. I will be wearing that jacket all the time because that's
sweater.
Yeah. I can wear that. Yeah, I can
do hoodies.
I would wear a raid hoodie, raid polar fleece.
Yeah,
for sure.
Or like a tech jacket that's like a thinner jacket, but just I
love the idea of that though. Like what you said, having different tiers, like having in the first 2 weeks or whatever a hoodie or something. But for those of you who complete the raid during the season at some point, T-shirt. That'd be sick.
And building a T-shirt stock, because I do T-shirts to order.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not like it's like just have a third-party company do it, have the T-shirts to order, and when somebody comes in, make some money. Like done. It's so. I don't know why they don't do it.
I don't know. I'm sure they could. It wouldn't be hard. There's enough people, that buy those. I think it'd be pretty easy.
Sure. I mean, I totally agree with that. The raid ring this year actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
the raid ring is cool.
Put that on a chain and wear that around. That thing looks sick. Yeah, I really like the look of that. But yeah, I mean, at least this jacket's a little more like usable. Like that one's a little more like standard in a sense, and it doesn't look completely dorky. You know, like it actually looks really cool. Like the style's
It
pretty
is
sick.
really neat. I love the
So,
inside though. It
The
looks
inside
really
is
cool.
awesome. I
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
like that.
got the little Vex
So-
grid thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really like that. But man, I just can't stop reading this Vault of Glass bio and like how much it annoys me. Of like, it's like you're not even trying to make it make sense in this year. You know, like in this.
Which
Yeah.
is weird because
story.
it's like, okay, so the general conceit of the season
Yeah.
is somehow, some way, the Vex blotted out the sun in a simulation, and I really think they just used the wrong word or something, or
Yeah.
there's like some shenanigans going on with the trailer, because it's you know, if not, you go, Mark, think. What if the Vex could blot out the sun in a simulation, we're probably always been in a simulation, which at that point the story of Destiny doesn't matter.
Right.
But because it's like Savathun's not real, Savathun's not a threat. Like, go hack the Matrix. But so how did the Vex like hack the sun? But if we are dealing with simulations, why not just have Vault of Glass be a simulation
Right.
tied to it?
Right.
Fair point.
Dun dun dun. There you go.
Mm.
I just fixed your story problem.
Yeah.
It's a simulation of the Vault of Glass. You know, kind of, sort of, almost like the simulation of the Vault of Glass that Osiris went into in the Infinite Forest. Gasp, shock, horror, lightning crackle. Like, it's just, put 2 seconds of thought into this, guys. That's
Right.
all it. That's
Right.
That's it, man. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, and I think that's a completely fair point. And I think I just figured out the Eververse armor for the Hunter, unfortunately, and it looks horrifying.
Oh, it's the dad jacket.
I
Yeah.
fucking hate that. Oh god.
No, I love it.
It's
It's
always
like business casual. It's
So
great.
I think everybody's getting business casual.
I love the
type of
business
fashion,
casual
yeah.
look. No, the business casual hunters. It's like hunters are gonna go on a date. They're gonna go to a job interview, and then they're gonna go kill some Vex. And
I have
they
a-
look great. They have like pleated front pants or something.
Sweater.
Their
It's a
creases-
freaking Hunter sweater.
Their creases look so good. They have the greatest. I think I have those boots. Like
What's hilarious is
they're gonna
my
go
buddy,
to Thanksgiving dinner.
my buddy Vintage. He was like, "Hey Joker, use whatever. I don't ask anything, but use whatever pull you have to get a shader that makes it look like my pants are blue jeans." Because he's like in that Titan with the
Oh
Titan
my
vest jacket
yeah.
thing already, and his male dude has like the fucking blonde like dude bro haircut.
Oh my
And
god.
It's just the most like, yeah, dude bro looking Titan ever. And he's like, dude, I want my pants, because I already got the pants. I got the boots with the fur, but like what if I could make my jeans look like blue jeans? Like that'd be hilarious. And then like 5 minutes later, we see this trailer, and it's like,
Yep.
Yeah. I think
Yep.
it just oh my god, it's so bizarre looking.
Yep.
I appreciate the thought of what they tried to do. Oh my god,
I
but,
mean,
hey,
I like
it's
the
different.
kind of, because you see artists do like casual wear, like
Of
renditions
course.
of their Guardians in casual wear all the time. It's like what the community wants for casual wear. It's like really, nice stuff. What Bungie gives us for casual wear.
Yeah. It's literally a sweater. It's a fisherman's sweater. I know, but it's unique.
And it's
I
tied
think it
around
looks
his
better.
neck, and it like
Yeah,
flips up
I do
and
like the
down.
cloak though. The cloak is pretty cool, and the helmet's pretty nice.
I honestly think it looks good. I kind of like
It's
it.
interesting.
I don't hate
It could be worse.
I
Just
won't buy
remember
it.
that.
I won't buy it. I like sci-fi stuff, so I know that
He's like,
you don't
I
like the
won't buy
Titan
it,
set,
and then
but-
like the next
Oh, I
time
won't
we
buy
see
it.
him, he's like, hi guys.
What's up, guys?
Are we going to the club? Are we
I don't
going
know, I think-
clubbing?
The Hunter
what-
to me looks like
what
he's
is
gonna
it?
go boating.
What's the fucking golf club? No, like, fuck. They have him in like country club. That's what I was like thinking.
Oh
Are we going to
my
the country
God.
club? Hi guys, we're going to the country club.
The season pass armor for the Hunter. I like the helmet's like crazy looking. The Hunter's like it's got Sector vibes. It's freaking weird, but I like it. And the Warlock, literally, the helmet makes them look like a beetle or something.
And the helmet looks like Dumbo ears, or like it's like they finally realized their elven cosplay. They finally got the ears right, and I'm just like, why?
What do you guys?
I know I'm gonna rock it because I'm just like, I want to be an elf. Like I'm that kind of person. I'm just like, I looked at Legolas when I was a little kid. I'm like, I want to be that. So I'm like gonna finally realize my Lord of the Rings like weeb tendencies. So like I could finally like be that person.
What do you guys think?
Chill my skull for it.
What do you guys think of
the worst
guns? The new legendary weapons, which it appears to be 4, are the new ones.
They look good.
Well, so they said
pretty.
30 new weapons and reprised.
Well,
I kind of started to do the math on it. So Bungie has said, let me bring it up. So if we get Vogue, all the Vogue weapons, that's 10 weapons. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can talk about whether they'll be reprised or reskins, or that's not an argument I care to have, because the whole point of bringing Vogue back is to bring back Vogue.
Yep.
Okay. So it's on the fucking label. You're getting exactly what you're supposed to be getting, hopefully. Now I can see, like I said, the weapons being put into archetypes and frames. I could also see them playing with random rolls on it, like a select perk pool, because a lot of the perks that existed in Destiny 1 don't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they're gonna have to do something.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It is. But I mean, think about it. What the shotgun from Vogue, you know, with like on a full auto frame with, you know, I don't know, surrounded and Vorpal. That'd be cool.
That would be
gross.
Cool. Curated roll like that. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. With like, what's the assault mag, the one that like gives you more whatever mag. Dude,
Tactical mag.
Tactical mag. Yeah, that'd be so cool,
right.
dude. That'd be my shotgun for PvE. Except I'm using a slug shotty right now that just tears things up. Ugh, they're broken.
Slug shotties are super good right now. Yeah.
Right.
Stupid. Anyways, so, you know, the 10 weapons from Vogue, and then they said there'll be 3 new weapons for Nightfalls.
Yep.
Okay. So that's, you know, 13. 4 new weapons for the activity. Maybe we might get some new weapons for Crucible. I mean, if they're bringing 3 new weapons for strikes, it would be cool
to get more weapons
Crucible
for
got
Crucible
something.
and Gambit.
I'm not gonna hold my breath.
There's such a drought for weapons, and like they really messed us up with sunsetting, and they really need to do something. They need to either unsunset weapons that we had, and I know the whole purpose was to get rid of the pinnacle weapons that they gave us. That was the entire purpose, was to get rid of pinnacle weapons, and they really messed us up just in general, and they need to do something.
And
I don't care what it is, but they need to give us something. So
right. So I think I think the reskins, though, it's going to be, you know, fairly short this time around, like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Because then you've got the Vogue. Vogue's reskins, but again, that's what we wanted. Then you've got the 4. Then you've got the pinnacle weapon that they're going to have. And then you got the 3. You know, again though, the 3 Nightfall, the Nightfall weapons were reskinned though.
Right.
There's 2 season pass weapons always. So there's another 2 new weapons.
Dude, hashtag Iasaluna for Crucible.
Oh yeah.
I would argument. The Ostringer. The Ostringer argument, I think, is a very good argument. You know, I think that was a very, very good argument to make, and I hope that they actually take a look at that, because that gives you something to do. That gives you something to grind on your board. You know, like it gives you something to look forward towards. You know, and you know, you could do the hand cannon from Vogue, but you could do like what you were saying with random rolls and curator rolls and stuff, and how perks aren't in the game anymore. But you could do that as a kinetic with Firefly, but that could only be the curated roll.
Right.
And that would give people,
and it would have to be Firefly, not Dragonfly, because Firefly is already coded in the game to work on kinetic weapons.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that would kind of diminish Ace a little bit, but Ace also has like 87 other perks that it can use.
Yeah. That would be very interesting, and it would prevent it from being stuck into the freaking energy slot with every other damn hand cannon. It feels like at this point we're really lacking on.
But if they wanted to, they could just put the whatever the Dragonfly is, leave it arc because But I mean, like, what is? I can't think of anything in Pinnacle content that you need arc against. It's always like Solar or
really
Void.
anything. It's really almost nothing.
But like, you could move Visions of Confluence and take away its Solar thing, and you wouldn't really hurt anything. You can move that into the primary, because that's the other thing that they're gonna have to play with is what do they put in secondary slot, what do they put in primary slot.
Yeah, fair.
Because again, we have a completely different weapon economy than we did in Destiny 1.
Yeah,
like wasn't all the raid weapons like energy? Like
no,
they
they
had
were
the
mostly
energy.
kinetic.
No, I mean they were kinetic in Destiny 1.
But they could have
had
exotic energy versions.
No. Oh, when they did the second version because they wanted to take away. I was talking about originally. They all had Solar Void.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Arc. And then Bungie realized, oh wait, that's too powerful. Nerf.
Yeah.
Nerf.
I do think that they were mostly energy weapons. Vision of Confluence was Solar.
Yeah, they all were.
Yeah. Found Verdict was.
Ooh, who's ready for that fusion rifle to come back? That was a
greatest timepiece.
I'm ready for another fusion rifle because they got a buff and fusion rifles are gross.
Mm-hmm.
They are.
But ready for Aaron Till at home.
Aaron Till, because I got a buddy who still uses Aaron Till.
I still use Aaron Till.
Yeah, but he's like, I can't use this in trials. Like,
no, I can't either. I have the one from the Dawning that I have at 1310, and it is gross. Yeah, Glacioclasm, and it is disgusting, and people hate me. I get
what is it? The fucking bottom half reserves, whatever. High impact reserves or whatever.
Yeah,
that's getting a buff. Because they're like, it doesn't automatically start or something, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Yes, it does. Or are you saying that you're gonna like balance it out to a level where it's like both of these will be like, I think it's like 56 or something on a fusion rifle instead of 50 when you're at the bottom too. So is it just gonna be like where it's like a flat rate because it already starts when you have the last two? I don't know what they were talking about.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It was weirdly written.
Their entire thing when it comes to like the way that they talk about weapons and like the changes that they make are always kind of like, it's not that they're poorly written, it's that they're really written unclearly.
Oh no, I want to strangle sometimes when I'm like reading the TWAB for videos. I want to strangle whomever's writing because they don't write in a way that people speak. So like you're reading it and it's like jibbly jubbly garbly gook, you know, the way the words are put together sometimes.
And then like, I'm just like,
I am infuriated by this.
Who wrote this?
Just try to sound smart or be pretentious. I don't. Like you went into Grammarly and you clicked a few buttons and you like gussied up your word choice.
Yeah.
But nobody talks like that.
But no one, exactly. I'm like, just can you just write English for this, please? So I'm trying to do a TWAB talk for podcasts. I'm just like, this doesn't.
I know you read it and you're like fumbling over shit, and I'm like, this isn't a high-end fucking lore card about paracausality. Come on.
I think you make a great point there. I'm just plugging in my lights. But, I think that something needs to be said about whoever's writing it is like,
I don't mean to be a
robot sometimes.
I don't either. It's just like,
it's
frustrating though.
Yeah.
I think they do it because so many people read the TWAB. They're like, let's like fuck with these people. I think that's what it is. I was like,
think so?
It's like what's the like worst way to like write this where if somebody's actually reading it, it's gonna trip them up and they're gonna have to like re-record the line a couple of times. I think that's why they do it.
That's messed up. That's mean. But the new weapons, there's a sidearm is that an SMG, pulse, and grenade launcher?
I hate sidearms.
I like sidearms. Sidearms are low-key really good in the Crucible because
Sidearms
no one
are-
expects them.
But is
Last word
that-
without any of the nerfs.
But is that a grenade launcher? It looks like a
No,
grenade launcher.
I think we've got a pulse rifle, an AR. It's probably going to be a 140 because 140s are getting buffed, and sidearm.
Wait, you think that top one is an auto rifle?
Yeah, I think we're going to
looks
get an
like a
auto rifle,
grenade
pulse
launcher to me.
rifle. They all look weird.
That looks like a tube. To me, that looks like a grenade launcher for 100%.
Really? You think so?
I think it looks like a grenade.
Hold on,
I
I'm
think
not looking at it. So
It looks like a tube to me, and the sight looks like it comes up like on the spring-loaded grenade launchers. Like it looks like it folds up and down, and that looks like an SMG. That for sure, obviously, is a pulse rifle.
I mean, one of them definitely does have a very not artist spotlight. Fuck the artist spotlight.
It
No.
looks like
Our
the
artists
SMG
in
and
Destiny
sidearm
are
kinetics.
awesome.
The SMG and the sidearm, I think, are kinetics, right? Kinetics face left, energies face right, or is it the other way around? Let me check. Yeah, I think the pulse rifle and whatever
That does
that's
look like a
weapon.
tube. That could be a. Oh yeah. I think that
I
is
think
a
it's a
grenade
grenade
launcher.
launcher.
Because you can see. Look at the top. You have the flip up.
Yeah, I think that's a grenade launcher. I think it's an energy. I think the pulse is an energy, and I think the SMG looks like an
That's
SMG.
not a pulse. I don't think that's. I think
think
that's
it's
the
a
auto
scout?
rifle.
You think it's an auto rifle, but auto rifles
Yeah.
don't reload by bullpup in Destiny, ever.
That's true.
I didn't think they did either.
There's only
The
one
only reason
auto
I was
rifle
saying is
ever.
because it looked like it had a
Right.
the same sight as the Warmind one.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
I
They
think it's a
don't
pulse
reload
rifle.
bullpup.
It
It's
could be a
pulse.
scout, but I think it's a pulse rifle,
Yeah.
and it's an energy pulse because it's facing to the right. The SMG to me that looks like an SMG.
Yeah, that looks like the best Vice style SMGs.
Yeah. Well, that's weird because Vice is energy, but usually,
Actually, no, it looks exactly like a Vice because it's got the
It could be the
overhang claw
first-
on the top, the
Yeah.
barrel.
it could be the first Vice to ever be a kinetic because they almost always position their weapons. They almost always on these pictures position the weapons in the direction that they end up being.
Anyone want to talk
categorized.
about these exotics that are stupid and going to be nerfed within like 3
Oh,
weeks?
for sure. I mean, first
Ah,
the Hunter one looks awesome. Like it looks really cool. But these perks on these boots are insane.
that's stupid, dude. And I'm not like throwing stones at glass houses because you look over at the Titan ones. Titan armor converts solar elimination into increased weapon damage. And it's like, okay, what are we counting as solar eliminations? Is that like solar
I'm
abilities?
assuming solar abilities. I'm
or-
assuming any solar kills.
Yeah, any
Like
solar kills, because
any.
that's dumb. That's
Like-
straight up dumb.
I'm assuming
Yeah.
any solar kills. I'm assuming that means igneous hammer
Igneous,
kills.
yeah.
I'm assuming
Like,
that
think
means
about this.
like any solar kills.
Rampage igneous hammer on a
Yeah.
charged with light build.
Mm-hmm.
You're just always going to be too tough. That's so
Yep.
dumb. And then you don't even have to use Rampage anymore.
Nope.
Even though you want to because of the uptime. But you could like use one with, I don't know. I have like a bunch that I call them Daddy's little rejects.
Fucking what?
I
Tell me
have
more.
a vault of igneous hammers. Okay. I think I have like 12 of them now. And
Okay.
I call them Daddy's little rejects because I want to see how
Uh-huh.
long it takes me to get my god roll. Don't get, I have one that's right now.
What?
It's like Rampage, rapid hit, ricochet rounds with corkscrew rifling, but it's like a reload masterwork. That's
Okay.
dumb. I don't want that.
Okay.
The one that I want is like a ranged or stability masterwork. But like I'm looking in my vault, I'm like, here's a range with extended barrel, ricochet rounds, rapid hit, celerity. So it's a reject. I got one with like rampage, rapid hit, small bore, light mag, reload. It's a reject. So I got like again, they're like so close but so far away. But then you have ones like, where is it? This has a range masterwork. It has rapid hit. It has ricochet rounds. It has polygonal rifling. But then it has moving target instead of rampage.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, that would be good if it had rampage. oh wait, these boots. That's gonna be stupid.
Mm-hmm. It's going to
Yeah.
be very interesting to see how long it goes until they shut them down. I do like the idea of the stasis perk though. Like,
Yeah,
but
that's
like,
all it needed to have, honestly.
but what's annoying is like stasis never should have gotten to the point where you need boots to like stop it from being a
Exactly.
bitch. You know, so it's like,
Well,
it's
that's like
just sad.
that should be a mod. That should be a like a 5-point mod that you can put on your fucking class item
Mhm.
and be done with it.
On your crucible.
Like remember in
Yep.
Destiny 1 when they had the artifacts, the like actual cool artifacts, and you had
Yeah.
the
Oh,
Iron
yeah.
Lord one, where it's like if you take DOT, it instantly drops DOT 7 or whatever it was, or I think it was nerfed to 3 or 4 at that point. And then it just dropped it to 1.
Yeah.
So it's like you could literally do that with stasis and fix a lot of problems with stasis.
Right. I agree. I mean, you know, that's the thing. It's like, I don't know. Don't even get me started on stasis because like I just stasis has ruined my
Orchid,
life.
she's like, can I get on Twitter and not see people complain about stasis or trials once? And then we're like, no.
Stasis is
Nope.
just, like,
Nope.
Here, Destiny is in such a actually fairly decent place.
Yeah.
But what's wrong is wrong.
What's wrong is the people.
Oh, that's mean.
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
okay. No. I want to. I want this. No. What? I seriously. I want to hear you make your point. I mean, I think it's
no, she's not wrong.
I think she's right. I think it's an interesting point, though. I mean, what do you think about the people?
Just like set that up and like teed it up and.
No, I love hearing other people's opinions. I mean, what do you think about the people causes so many of these issues of stasis?
I think it's like Joker and I talked about this when stasis before it came out, when we were watching the trailers for it before Beyond Light came out, if you remember. And I see his face, and so he's doing the oh fuck, I remember this conversation when we had it. And it was how it felt so bad that when you don't have a chance to fight back in the Crucible, because I mean, he and I are both like, I hate to call us like shotgun apes.
Yeah, we're apes.
But we're apes. We're shotgun apes. We're gorillas, yeah.
And it has just my tight helmet on it, holding a shotgun.
I'm a shotgun ape, and I'm the first to admit it. Lately, I've been a top tree Dawnblade, AC 130ing from space with an Arbalest because I'm that kind of asshole right now. Just yeah. So like I'm that kind of person that's just been, like sitting up in space, just like sniping people with a linear fusion rifle. Yeah. So, but I mean, like I'm at that point in the season where I'm just playing Crucible and I'm not doing anything else because that's just what I enjoy doing. And Destiny for me has always been more of a PvP game than a PvE game. And so it feels really shitty when you come to play the thing that like PvP for me is like this warm blanket. And I'm not good at PvP. Okay. I'm going to be the first to say that. I suck at it, but I enjoy doing it. It's like PvP in like Halo multiplayer. I am not good at it. I am trash at it. You can see like the messages I get on Xbox. They are not nice. Most of them are, you should delete this game and go play something else. Go play Slime Rancher because that's what you're good at.
I never get fucking trash talk.
Yeah, people are usually pretty nice because they know I'm a girl and they don't want to be mean to girls. But I mean, I do a lot of trials and stuff. I don't know. But it sucks when you're playing something and there's no way to fight back against stasis. So really you're just frozen and then people can just like from 10 feet away snipe you.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? There's nothing to fight back against that. At least like if you're tethered, you can kind of like try to jump away. If you're suppressed, you still have your guns. Like if you're slowed, you still have a chance to fight back. Like you can still use your shotgun. You can still like, yeah, you might not have like the accuracy might be down on like whatever weapon you have. You still have a chance though, you know.
Though, still like
so you still at least with a lot of that you still have a chance, like regardless of what you have. But like with stasis, there's no chance.
Yeah, just it pauses the game for you.
Yeah, you have nothing. And so when stasis first came out, I fought a match in comp. Toki, what are you doing? I fought a match that was just me because my other two teammates left because it was so infuriating, and it was me versus 3 other people, and I had not gotten to the point where I could use stasis yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I was still.
Your cat.
My goodness. My cat is trying to like break all of my things. I don't know if I can hear you guys.
Break all the things. Rise up, gamers. Gamer cats.
I think he just pulled my headphones out.
Oh, really? That's really funny, actually.
I'm gonna get to after she finishes because it's
gonna
lead into a point where this is why people hate hunters.
I mean, hey, you know, go for it. I'm not gonna be offended about it because I think it's funny. I love all the hate towards. I think it's hilarious. I love all the jokes. I think it's great. Like you said, with people who take it too seriously. I love the jokes.
If you just kind of break down the way like movement and stuff works in the game. A lot of the classes, unless you're like a very specific like top tree Dawn Blade or something like that, you're playing kind of a very you're playing a ground game, essentially, where like hunters, they can disengage from gunfights at the press of a button. The vertical movement is insane, at least on console. A lot of people are like, well, it's not that bad on PC, but you got to also remember like half the player base is console.
Mm-hmm.
And we were locked at 75 FOV, so you know, hey, it is what it is. So while that's not necessarily annoying on like say a gunslinger or a arc staff hunter or something like that, when you get into like not only can you like throw shurikens that can freeze and slow, but now you have like this insane movement capability. Dude, it frustrates people. And so while like people aren't mad at the players of the hunters, there's just like this class is like clearly better than everything
set
else.
Up to win.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's kind of like how like Titans are very, very strong in PvE content because we have Word of Dawn. You know?
Right. Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't think you make a false point either. You know, like I think as a hunter main, I think your point stands true. You know, and
I'm not saying nerf hunters or anything like that. I'm saying stasis is a problem, and once you start compounding all these movement abilities and stuff like that, it exacerbates the problem. And this is why everybody plays hunter in PvP. This is why you go into a game and like, you know, it's fucking sixes, and 9 people in that lobby will be a hunter.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
And you know, like I said, I think you make a great point. You know, I think it's a fair point. You know, and it's as a hunter main, I can see myself all the time getting pissed off, you know, about stuff like that. You know, I definitely think that there's something to be said about the differences in classes and how some are set up to win in certain content and others aren't. You know, whether that's intentional or not is beyond me.
Well, I think Dado had a really good point. He made this in a video like forever ago, and I don't watch a lot of Dado videos. But he's like, he was talking about how people keep wanting Twilight Garrison to come back for Titans. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, I don't want Twilight Garrison to come back. In fact, I want the game to slow down. It's actually a little too fast. And he's not talking about TTK, he's talking about movement. And I think that's a fair point because hunters and like the dash warlock, and even the slide titan, they're not punished for running from gunfights. Like you can get it. And so when you have classes not being punished for running from gunfights, you need to increase the TTK. Well, how do we increase the TTK? Shotgun ape. One hit kills. Everything's a one hit kill now. There's a balance between Destiny 1 Year 1 where it's not ass, or Destiny 2 Year 1 where it's not ass, and what we have now. There's a middle ground. But it with Bungie balancing, it's always one extreme or another. Like, you can slow down player movement to punish players for disengaging from fights that they should have lost without increasing the TTK, or like decreasing the TTK to like 0.2776 of a second, fractions of a second, And so I think a lot of people are frustrated with that because it's like it all compiles, and the best example is the Stasis Hunter, but every class has this problem. Like, again, Slide Titans or Dash Warlocks, and it goes down to a point where it's like we have nuclear arms raced basically the PvP meta to where it's all like get out of jail free cards and one shot kills. And hey, if I have to lose shoulder charge to like slow down the one shot kills, I'll do it. Like, that's a price I'm willing to pay.
Right.
Yeah. This is it goes back to like the idea, like Fellwinners was a mistake. Like, I memed about it because I was like, well, you know what? Hey, Bungie fucking did it. When they brought Fellwinners back, they brought it back. But like, because if you're going to, that's the way you do it. But it was a mistake. That whole tier of shotguns is a mistake. Like, shotgun, like pellet shotguns, like 7 meters max, man, for an OHK. Everything outside of that, well, I hope you have your melee up. Yeah, do this Halo style. In Halo, you literally had to be hugging somebody to get an OHK with a shotgun. Everything else was shotgun melee. Like, that's how it should work. And I know a lot of people are like, but Joker, what about for PvE? Bitch, please. They've been balancing PvP and PvE separately since Forsaken. Because I keep seeing that argument. It's like, but if they nerf it, it's going to get nerfed in PvE, and I don't want my super special awesome builds nerfed in PvE. One, PvE is like brain dead, but okay. Two, except for like Grandmaster Nightfalls, but you're not using shotgun in Grandmaster Nightfalls. You might use a slug shotgun because it's just such high damage. But two, it's like, just balance separate. Like, just balance it separately. Come on.
Right.
Same thing with Stasis. Like, I mean, they did with their last Stasis, they balanced it separately. But you could go in and you could like remove the slow. You could remove the insta freeze in PvE or PvP, and it wouldn't affect PvE. Now, would people be like, well, the whole reason I bought the DLC was so that I could freeze people and ruin their enjoyment of the game in PvP. I mean, so I could have this really cool new subclass to play.
Right. I mean, I think you raise really good points that nobody ever really wants to talk about, or acknowledge. It
comes
both
back
ways.
To Destiny community, for as much as, and this is kind of my frustration with it. It's like, just be honest about it. For as much as we bitch about this stuff, it would be fine if everybody was like, yeah, no, dude, we don't want the game to be balanced. But everybody's like, oh, this is OP. This needs a nerf. I want this overbalanced. It's like each class will look at something the other class has and be like, well, shoulder charge is OP, or dodge roll is OP, or this is OP, that's OP. And if we were actually trying to balance a game, that would be valuable to a conversation. People aren't trying to balance the game. They just want to be the only one that's strong in the lobby. They want to be the only one that's overpowered in the lobby. It's a power fantasy. That's also why you see a lot of people pushing for skill-based matchmaking, even though it's terrible.
Right.
Because when they have their little overpowered thing, they want to be the only one in the lobby with their overpowered thing. But if they have to play better players who have that same understanding of that overpowered thing, well, then it's not as fun anymore.
true.
I think that's a completely fair point. Again, I think they're
Mhm.
completely right.
They don't want balance. They just want to be the best in their lobbies.
I mean, you're not going to see any disagreement from me. You know,
No.
I think that's a completely fair point. And I guess I get really annoyed with people because it's going to be the long-standing argument of I hate that thing because that person killed me with that thing,
Yeah,
or did this thing to me.
Yeah,
But if
it's
I do
the-
it to them, it's okay.
it's the hand cannon argument. I'm so sick of seeing hand cannons in the kill feed. Nerf them. Wait, so you want to nerf a weapon type because you're sick of being killed by it? Not even because it's overpowered or anything. You're just sick of seeing it. Shut up.
Yeah.
Just shut up.
It's a weak argument. It's an extremely
Mhm.
weak argument, and it pisses me off because it's just like that's so like you're punishing everyone because you're mad about one thing because
And
you
there's
got
so
killed by
many
something.
there's so many people though that fall into that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so frustrating because it's so childish, and it's like, look, I don't want to call people out or anything, but it's just like, dude.
But that
Come
goes
on.
back to what Orchid
Oh.
was saying, it goes back to the people, playing the game. And maybe
Yeah.
this is because you didn't used to see this with like Halo and shit. And I know it's kind of a different game, but like people hated the BR being the main thing. There's a lot of people that hated it.
And everybody used it.
Yeah, but everybody shut the fuck up and used it.
Yeah.
Ooh, excuse me. But I do think this is kind of a thing of like social media. Once again, is kind of ruined discourse. Because one, there's a anonymity has kind of, and I'm one to talk because I'm always trolling people. But anonymity has kind of like fucked up the general discourse, and then you have like you have people sending, and this is obviously I don't condone this. People sending like death threats to devs or death threats to content
I hate
creators.
that. Yeah, there's no
Right.
reason for that.
No reason.
That's absolutely no reason for it. But it's just the way we have discourse about like balance or video. Like I was talking to some guy and I was like just talking about the hunter boots, man. And I'm like, yeah, this is my point wasn't even like that they're over, even though they are. My point is like, why would Bungie waste development time on this thing? Because it is insanely powerful. It's going to get nerfed. It's going to get nerfed quicker than either that or it's going to come out overbalanced and it's going to be worthless. So like it's one of two things. Like we already have so many exotics in the game that augment the way that super work or how much you get super energy back.
Mhm.
Look at Shards of Gallon or look at what was that? The boots for the Warlocks that if you run around in a circle.
Geomags.
Geomags.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've already had so much of that comes into the game. It's good for a couple seasons and then it gets nerfed into the ground. Why would you make another one?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just teasing us at this point.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's just
But, like-
teasing us, and it's honestly not cool. It's not fair because like people get excited, they play with it for a while, they're like, "This is
then they
awesome,"
get
and
taken
then it's
away.
gone.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like talking about this and I'm trying to make this point. And this guy's like, "Oh, you're an idiot. Oh, this is a yeah."
They
It's
always
just-
fall
it
back
just
to
starts-
that. You're an
He just
idiot.
he
Mhm.
just starts He's like, "You don't know what you're talking about." It's like, one whose dick slapped you in the face this morning, dude? Like, who pissed in your Cheerios? Like, dude, I'm sitting here I'm pointing out abject reality. This is what's going to happen.
All right.
Why are you mad?
Like this is the
Right.
truth. Sorry.
Exactly.
It's like sorry to ruin your day, but I'm just telling you what you need to hear,
Yeah.
That way you have no reason to bitch because,
Yeah.
Nostradamus over here is telling people what to expect.
It's like with the cash
Exactly.
shop. A lot of people were like, I never spent it. And I'm like, you don't
Mhm.
matter, dude. You're one person.
One
Okay.
person.
Out
Mhm.
of, did you miss the part where it was like 300 million a year out of the cash shop? Did that like part of the conversation go over your head? You don't matter. $300 million does.
Right.
And
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I
the
don't
same
wanna-
thing with like, sorry, it's the same thing with
No, you
like them saying that like buying the freaking ornament for Whisper of the Worm like paid for 0 hour. Like,
Sure.
You were the problem. Like, and you talked about it in your video. Like, I do watch your videos. Like, you talked about it. We're the problem.
Yeah, and hey, it's an honesty thing. It's like it's being honest with yourself. You have to. It goes back to the community. It goes back to the game of buffs and nerfs. It goes back to why you want something. It's about being honest about the intent.
Right.
Like a lot of people are like, oh, Joker, you're just a hater, yada yada yada. I can make like 5-10 videos. I can praise something, but the second I make a negative one, oh, you're just a hater. But like it's my intent's like, dude, okay, yeah, or people call me out. It's like you make money on this game, you make money on hate, and it's like, okay, yeah, if the game died, then I wouldn't be making money on it.
That would really suck for you.
That would suck. So what's better? The game, me kind of complaining about issues in the game and those getting resolved and the game continuing to live, or me trashing the game and everybody leaving it?
Exactly. I wonder,
what's my motivation?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think any of us want the game to die.
No.
Yeah.
That would be stupid.
Yeah. It's just people need to be more honest about motivations and honest about the conversations that they're having and why they're having it. Before they like get defensive, because that's what it always happens. They get defensive, or they like start talking shit, or they send death threats, and it's just like, why are you so emotionally involved in a fucking video game, dude?
I think a lot of it has to do with like the community that it's built, because the Destiny community is very special and it's nothing like any other community. And so we're protective of, I'm including myself in this because I'm protective of the game too. And it's because of the community that has built around it. So,
and maybe it's because the overlap, but I would say I saw this with the Halo community.
The Halo community, that's kind of fallen by the wayside lately, just because there's been nothing in the last like 5 years.
In sort of the maturing of the Halo community kind of came after Reach as well, where it was like our games have kind of started to suck and we can have honest conversations about it without and that's where the Destiny community needs to mature to. It's like, this kind of sucks right now. Let's have an honest conversation about it.
Also, the Halo community, they've never been free to play games. We've always paid for those games. In the Destiny community, I'm not under any idea that the Destiny has ever been free to play, even though they're like, it's free to play. It's not. It's not free to play.
It's the best marketing they could have done.
I know, but they're like, it's free to play. It's not free to play. Like,
it's free to try.
It's free to try. It's not free to play. Like, shut up. Sorry.
Yeah. No, totally fair.
They keep insisting that it's free to play, and it's not. Like,
and it's funny because like my girlfriend downloaded the game, and she hasn't played very much of it yet because she just got a new job. So woo woo.
Right.
But but the thing is, it's a fair point of like, the game is not free to play because she's sitting there and she's so confused. And like, she's not really a gamer compared to the rest of us, but like, she's trying to get into what I'm into. And the problem is she logs in and she's like, wait, what's this thing on Europa, and then this thing here and this thing here, and she's like, do I need to buy this, and how much is this, and what do I get with this? And it's just like, it's not free to play. It's so fucking confusing if you're a free player.
I got a great butchering a great quote to kind of describe Destiny's free to play relationship. It's like, the greatest lie the devil ever told was that he doesn't exist. The greatest lie that Destiny ever told was that it was free to play.
Right. Yeah, and I think
I like that.
Fair, it's so frustrating.
Morbid, but
because it's like,
it's true though.
Like, what the fuck? It's like, it's not free to play. What the fuck are you talking about? And like, you're just confusing the shit out of everybody. And honestly, going free to play was the worst thing that could ever have happened. And you said this so many times. It was the worst thing they could have done to the Crucible. Easily.
they need to make it so Trials is
Is
not,
payment.
or the
Got that.
Crucible
Paywall.
is behind a paywall,
It
and that
has
would
I
solve
would-
a lot
I
of the
would
problems that they
pay-
have.
And
I would
we talked
pay a
about
subscription fee to play Crucible, honestly.
done.
at this point to save the Crucible.
I would
100%.
do like every 3 months, like $5-10 for new crew. But we have to get new maps and we have to get new gear.
They need to pull the new map. They need to pull maps from what they sunset.
D1.
I'm sorry.
Or
No, they need to
D2,
not
but
even
D1 too.
D1.
Yeah.
D1 maps are terrible. They need to pull the
Yeah.
maps that they got rid of because I liked those maps.
Yeah, I think that's completely fair point.
Rid of them, like
That's a great question.
Yeah, well, the why they get rid of them is I think a lot of them was like spawning issues or something. It was like spawn balance or whatever, and they wanted to go back and rebalance it, and they just never did. That's what happened with Dead Cliffs. They took out Dead Cliffs to rebalance the spawns, and then they just didn't do it. If you've noticed, everybody gets spawn trapped in A.
oh yeah,
And or C, whatever it's called. And they fucking it's A. You get spawn trapped in A on Dead Cliffs, and it's just not fun. But it's because the maps are. You have two types of maps in Destiny. You have lanes, and you have grids.
yeah. Mhm.
Rusted Lands is a very great example of this. Rusted Lands is a box with a T in it, and then you kind of have a little bit that diverges from that, but it's very grid area, and you're supposed to do these. You're controlling a grid.
Yeah.
And the reason that Destiny maps don't work for, like, say, Clash or something like that, 'cause I don't think they do, is because they're designed to flow from control point to control point.
Right.
And it's terrible. It's terrible map design.
Yeah, I mean, I think you raise a great point, and I think I'm honestly just like, I don't know. I can't even wrap my head. I can't even wrap my head around the idea that free to play even was on the table.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wrap my head around that because why?
Well, it's
why would you do
because
that?
they have all this content that nobody's playing, or that it's just sitting there, and they're like, hey, we can just give this out and people will come in and maybe they'll buy a season pass, maybe they'll buy something from the cash shop. Because if it's just content that's sitting there and nobody's playing it, nobody's picking it up, nobody's buying it, well, they're leaving money on the table. This way, there's the potential that somebody will come in and pick it up, and somebody will come in and buy something. It's kind of like how comic book companies, and they haven't gotten through their head, it never works. If we release a Falcon and Winter Soldier comic book around the time the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show is going on, maybe, just maybe, that'll get people into the comic book stores to buy. It never happens, by the way. It's the same idea, honestly. It's where if it's like if maybe we just get people in there, they'll spend money.
Mm-hmm.
But it ruins the experience for everybody who's like hardcore.
Right. Yeah, I think that's the conundrum we're in right now, and it's a very weird time to be into Destiny, because like I'm excited, but I'm also nervous. It's like, wow, cool, new season, more reason to like play Destiny, but at the same time, I'm like, this is gonna be interesting, how they respond to a lot of these things they're doing, and how the community's going to respond to them, and fingers crossed.
Yeah, I'm actually hopeful for next season. There's a lot of, Vault of Glass is returning. The story, if the story's as good as Season of the Chosen, then, I expect it to kind of slow burn at the beginning, then ramp up. And so, like, while we're sounding kind of negative about aspects of Destiny that could always improve, the overall, we like this game. We want it to be better. And I think a lot of the... I think a lot of the conversation has kind of gone around, at least tonight, things that Bungie could do better, like the cash shop, but they won't. Cash shop, the implementation of content to the greater Destiny game, and kind of the community needing to mature a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. the community is just going to do what the community does, and unless you're on Twitter, you're not going to see a lot of it. So it's not going to affect you, and unless you're a content creator, it's not going to affect you.
Right.
So I mean, it affects us because we're kind of in the middle of it. We're in that bubble. Like, we're a part of it. We have to interact with people and other content creators like on a fairly regular basis. So like, it affects me, and like it affects our mental health too, because like I don't want to like wade into Twitter all the time and just see like what Joker was referencing earlier. Like, I don't want to log in every week. Like, I look forward to trials. Like, I have my 2 backpacks that like carry me to the lighthouse every week. I'm not under like any idea that I help at all. Because I don't.
Yeah, and it's about perspective. I haven't gone to the lighthouse, and I don't want to go to the lighthouse because I only want 3 wins in my card so I can farm igneous hammers. You know? All about perspective. What do you want from the game?
Yeah, I like going to the lighthouse. I like to visit my space pigeons. I like to see, you know, like Daddy Saint 14 at the lighthouse, and you know, sitting in like my bathtub of loot. And that's what I do on the weekends, like with my friends, because it's the only time I get to hang out with like my work friends and my ex-work friends, because they both left. But yeah, I know that's like the only time I get to hang out with them now. But it's like, that's what I get out of the game, and that's what I look forward to.
Oh heck yeah.
And
Sure.
And it's super sweaty, and it's very not enjoyable sometimes, but it's like, it's enjoyable because of the people that I get to hang out with. And then when I just see like people bitching about like Fellwinters and Stasis and Crucible at Trials, and it's super broken, and like, yeah, but you know what? Like, it's what you make of it. And if that's the bullshit that you get out of it, like, don't.
That being said, fuck Widow's Court.
Like, I fucking hate Widow's Court. Like, I don't like that.
Last week was the most miserable trials ever. So that's what made me laugh. He was like, I don't want to log on and see people bitching about trials. And it's actually this like, well, you'd have a point if this was like Anomaly or Rusted Lands, but it's Widow's Court, damn it.
Like,
right.
Honestly, like, if the worst is Anomaly.
Really?
I don't know.
I feel it's bad for shotguns. If you hate shotguns, you're gonna hate Anomaly.
You're gonna hate Anomaly if you hate shotguns. Yeah.
You hate Fellwinters. But that's I think quick draws tends to be my biggest problem with Fellwinters, because it's like, you'll see the guy, they'll have their hand cannon out, and you'll go to shoulder charge them, and then instantly they've swapped and are firing, and you're like, that's my life.
Motherfucker. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You know, I think no. These are very good points, and I think that this is going to be an interesting time for Destiny. This is going to be something that's going to be a reckoning for Destiny, and I'm
reckoning confirmed.
You know, like you said, you know, we love this game. We don't want it to fail, so we criticize things, but we're hopeful. And I think for the most part, not just us, but like, I think for the most part, the community is pretty hopeful for this season.
Yeah.
You know, there are things about it that are like, but like, I don't think any of us are of the mindset that like, there are things in this season that are going to like be so incredibly bad. Like, it's just
cash
all
up.
right,
We did that to ourselves, man.
We can't blame Bungie for that.
Can't blame Bungie on that one.
We gave them a tree branch, and they were like, "Fuck it, we're taking the tree." And who can blame them? I mean, we did it for them, so like, you can't blame a business for being a business.
You want the transmog system to get better? Don't buy any.
Yeah.
That's how that happens.
Grind it out. It's gonna be a grind. It's gonna be just like the grind that we had for Black Armory, and just be ready for it and plan your time accordingly, and don't give them any money.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's like,
you want to show them, you want to show them, and you want to like be that person, and you want to make a point, like, you know,
good luck.
Make sure, you know.
Good luck, because everybody else is not going to die in that crusade with you. You know, a lot of people are going to skip it.
My buddy said, he's like, I'm not gonna grind that shit out. My time is worth more than $15.
So is mine, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I have too much to do. Like
I'm
I have
probably
3
gonna pay.
podcasts and I
Yeah.
have voice acting and I have too many things to do and
Yeah,
my time is too valuable. Sorry. Like
I'm right there with you. You know,
I have too many things going on.
at least
And I only want to change one piece of armor, and I got to get it from Vogue anyway. So I might get a god roll at the first try and not have to worry about it.
Right.
exactly. I might just
Right.
honestly, I'm of the mindset where it's like I might just fucking.
It
I'm
is
just probably gonna pay.
what it is.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna pay because it's like I can't be bothered to do that insane grind.
$10.
We already got to do.
What is it
grind
actually? It's
season.
like $10 for
like that.
5 or something like that.
But it's like I'm already gonna be grinding the season pass and the seasonal challenges, so it's like
yeah, I don't even
10,
do. I don't
15
even bother
bucks.
that.
It's like if you're a seasonal retail worker or something, just think of it as like 1 hour of work. If you think of it like that, or like a couple coffees a week,
Mm-hmm.
you're
Well,
fine.
no, not even. It's just like, what's your time? Would you rather be grinding this thing that you don't want to be grinding, or would you rather be playing Crucible?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Grinding for a bottom dollar in the Gambit, you know? Like
Yeah.
what would you rather be doing? You know, so it's like that's how you got to think about it. Does it suck? Sure, but you can't blame anybody but the community. So,
Yeah.
you can't blame a business for being a business.
Exactly.
You know? So, that's the truth of it, but we are very hopeful for next season. You know, I'm just excited to have another reason to play Destiny over and over and over again. You know, anytime Bungie says, "Hey, you want more Destiny?" and I'm like, "Yes, yes,
Yeah.
please." You know, so
I can't wait for Destiny to get some real competition. I was hoping Outriders wasn't gonna fucking suck a dick, but here we are. This is the world we live in. Halo Infinite, don't suck.
I'm ready for Halo Infinite, and I'm gonna be just so in that. I'm gonna be in Halo Infinite all the time, and Destiny is not gonna get as much time as.
Look at already, and it's because look at the Apex arena. Look at already how many people are kind of going over to that from Destiny PvP.
It's got 3s. It's got 3v3 now. Like a bunch Destiny people are in it.
I played it. I played it but I made the mistake of playing Titanfall 2 over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I went and played Apex, and I was like, no, delete. I played a game and uninstalled it. I was like, no, this is dumb. This isn't Titanfall 2. This isn't Titanfall. I want Titanfall. But the point that I'm making before we go is like, if Destiny has competition like Halo Infinite, where it actually stands a chance of getting losing customer base, then we'll see even better, because we're already starting to see an improvement. You know, especially with sunsetting Luke Smith and shit like that. Moving Luke Smith, but putting it in different visionary hands and shit like that. So we're already seeing kind of an improvement, but what if Bungie actually had to worry about maybe they don't get that $300 million in the cash shop. Maybe they only get 2 or 1 because everybody's playing Halo. Everybody's playing something else. Well, you might actually see improvements.
Right.
That's the point. Vote.
We won't know. Yeah. Vote with your wallet.
Yep.
Fair. So, Destiny's gotten incredibly lucky that all these competitors have fucking sucked. But these companies should keep trying. They'll nail it sooner or later, and then Destiny will be pushed to the brink, and that's when the best comes out of it, or the worst.
Yep.
It could fail, but that's when usually the best comes out of it. And I think Bungie's employees are talented, so talented, that if they get real competition, they'd be allowed.
The community's revolting.
Exactly.
Right.
Taken King, Forsaken.
Yep. Wow, that'll conclude this episode. But I think the thing you should take from this is we are hella excited to just play more Destiny.
Yeah.
Hey, Vex! Oh man, sign me up to fight Vex. Hell yeah, I'm excited.
I'm always here for Vex.
So
I'm always there for standy robot that is easily shot to death.
Yeah.
Season of Tron. It's the season of Tron.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I like how. Okay, one more point. I like how we had Season of Plague, and everybody's memeing Season of Plague. Then we get I seen the beginning of the Season of Splicer trailer, and I'm like, what the fuck? How did they? Oh, it's something completely different.
Dude, that's what it was.
Yeah.
To the trailer, and I was like, oh, so this
What?
is like the season of the play. This is like the trailer they made when they were all done with that. And then I kept
Yeah.
watching, like, oh, this is like Bungie. This is legit. Oh
Yeah.
shit, you know?
Yeah.
But that's just how excited we are to play it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's hype as fuck, and I'm so
Mhm.
hyped. Yeah, I'm
I'm
really
hyped.
thank God I have time to take off the week when the raid comes out. So
Mhm.
for sure gonna do that. I'm gonna earn that jacket. I'm finally gonna earn a raid jacket. I will.
Raid jackets are great.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on. I look
Bye-bye.
forward to talking to you guys again.
This
And
is fun.
it's great to be back. I took a hiatus. I needed to clear my head, needed to take a step back for a bit, but it's exciting to be back, and it's great to talk to you guys again because it's been way too long. So I
It's great to
appreciate
have
you guys.
something to talk about that isn't
I
just like,
know.
oh, trial sucks this week.
Yeah. So appreciate you guys taking time out of your schedule.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah.
having me.
Of course. All right,
That was fun.
guys. See you later, and thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Peace.